Thanks for staying with us. We turn our attention now to the Americas, where Nicolas Maduro has been declared winner of the closely fought Venezuela presidential election. The opposition is disputing the results of the election, which declared the incumbent president winner. The president of the Electoral Authority, Elvis Amoroso, says Mr. Maduro secured a third 6-year term with 51.2% of the votes cast. Opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez, who had been leading in opinion polls, got 42.2%. The Electoral Authority, which is allegedly controlled by Nicolas Maduro's loyalists, did not reportedly release the tallies from each of the 30,000 polling stations nationwide. Immediately, opposition representatives said earlier that tallies they collected from campaign representatives at the centers had shown Gonzalez trouncing Maduro. Speaking in Tokyo, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the United States has serious concerns about the results of Venezuela's hotly contested presidential election. The 61-year-old Nicolas Maduro first won power in 2013 after his mentor, socialist Hugo Chavez, died from cancer. Now, for more on this controversial election, global affairs analyst Amuda Mosigbodi joins me from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, via Zoom. Good to have you join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So there was a delay in announcing the results, and when President Maduro finally came out to celebrate the results, he accused unidentified foreign enemies of trying to hack the voting system. Now, speak to all of this and where the legitimacy of this election stands now.
Thank you. First, I think we must first take a trip back to the events in Central America back in the 60s, from the attempts at invading Cuba and how the rise of socialism within that region became a major concern for the U.S. and the eventual threat of the likes of the late Hugo Chavez, the late Castro, and how socialism gained its way into Bolivia, Argentina, and a whole lot of other countries. And how eventually the U.S. was able to wrestle this on some of these countries, particularly Bolivia, Argentina, Mexico, off the stronghold of socialism, and how that has become a major issue. That also explains why Venezuela is taking the heat. Now, if you look at how that election panned out, how did Venezuela get to the point where it got to? We must not always look away from the role that the U.S. particularly plays with heavy sanctions. Now, when you impose economic sanctions on countries, it is not the leaders that will face the heat, it is the economy that will face the heat. So when you impose the economic sanctions such that a country that is a petro state, a state that is totally dependent on petroleum, can only, cannot sell its products, its natural resources to other countries, you are going to impoverish that country. And that is why you saw that, Venezuela had to go through a 7-year recession period. And that affected the chances and, of course, the popularity of Maduro when he came on board. And, of course, this election was also a reflection of the 2018 election in which Maduro was said to have even lost in that election, and the whole conspiracy by the recognizing Mr. Gaudo, who is, the Speaker of the House, the legislative arm at that point, until even the recognition of the Speaker is not.
And Amuda, sorry, I have to butt in because you mentioned sanctions. And those sanctions were placed on Venezuela by the U.S. And it looks like there will be more sanctions because the U.S. and other countries have now, questioned the process. Do you see President Maduro bound to pressure and releasing the tallies from the 30,000, the polling stations, rather?
I think it will be suicidal on its part. Although in furtherance of the demands and the tenets of democracy, such to be released. But I say it's a foul play here. If they were to go all fair and square, I do not see Maduro defeating Gonzalez in this election because the tides have turned against him. With millions of Venezuelans emigrating from Venezuela, even through the roughest of paths. That tells you of how terrible the situation is. And the place of over 300%. So, not even an Indian will win an election based on public opinion in that situation. So, I guess that's why Maduro would, have to engage in the underhand practices. So I don't see him releasing that to even bowing to the pressure from the West to release the, bit by bit results as we were meant to have. I do not see him doing that.
We're following development there and, across the Americas as well. Always a pleasure to have you on. Amuda Mosigbodi, Global Affairs Analyst.
Thank you so much.